My son, Simon Cooper, was born on the 28th of December 1982, and on the 29th of December 1982 we discovered that he had cystic fibrosis. He was a fighter till the very last day, which was the 10th of July 2016.
The doctor came and he said to me, "Your daughter's got Tay-sachs and the lifespan is 2.5. Sorry. I lost 2 children with Tay-sachs. I would have had a daughter now who would have been 53 and a son who would have been 51. There isn't a day that goes past where I don't remember or look at photos or just think what might have been.
My wonderful son, Adam, died at the age of 39 of cystic fibrosis. I know it sounds strange, but I still look for him everywhere. I know I'm never going to find him.
My wife and I had a young baby who passed away 22 years ago, called Madeleine. She had inherited a genetic disorder called Canavan's disease. She passed away just before her 10th birthday.
A little over 14 years ago, I lost my only brother, Benjamin, to cystic fibrosis. He was 26 years old. My brother is irreplaceable. Benjamin is irreplaceable. And there'll always be that hole in my life, and I can't help shake a sense of loneliness.
We found out we were pregnant with our firstborn daughter, Leah.
After we had Leah, we came back from holiday and there was a screening at one of our local synagogues, which was put on by our friends in conjunction with Jnetics.
A letter came through the door and you opened it and it said that you were a Tay-sachs carrier.
In the Jewish community, there's a 1 in 5 chance of someone being a carrier of one of the most prevalent Jewish genetic disorders. And with those kind of statistics, everybody needs to get themselves genetically tested.
That meant that I'd have to go and get screened. We waited for a week for the results to come back. The phone rang, you just picked it up, and I'm
really sorry, it's also positive. So in my mind, it was kind of like, right, we have to get Leah tested. I always remember that journey in. And then we got into the hospital.
We'd somehow lucked out, and it was like the best feeling in the world, knowing that she was going to be fine.
We have 4 children, but our 10-year-old son, Chanochi, has a very rare Jewish genetic disease.
Chanochi has a condition known as familial dysautonomia, and it affects all his autonomic and sensory nervous system. He can't swallow at all. He doesn't produce tears. His stature is limited. There are a multitude of issues affecting him.
I won't say you live for the day, but you live for each small amount of time. Of course, there were periods during his life when he was hospitalised, and so we had to contend with that.
So I worry very much what will be when we're no longer around to care for him, because the level of care he needs is just unbelievable.
At that stage, for me, my emotions went obviously being relieved, but to very, very angry at the Jewish world because we didn't know about this. It's an amazing outcome, but how do we prevent this? And I think that's obviously where our relationship with genetics, because before then, and other than us having the test done, we didn't really know about genetics. And I think that's why it's so important to raise the awareness of the charity.
Jnetics is all about education for young and not so young Jewish people who are thinking about having children, who are concerned about their genes. And I think it's very, very, very important that people become educated and not bury their heads in the sand.
Really, people should be tested. If there was a test years ago, I would have had it done.
Not only for what it will benefit in your own life, bringing up children, but what their life will be.
So if someone's considering screening and they don't know whether to go ahead or not, I think we both feel very strongly that there's absolutely nothing to lose by going ahead. The screening process is so easy now. There's not a blood test involved. It's done through a saliva test. Jnetics organise all of it. So it couldn't be any easier to be screened.
We decided for the next child we didn't want to go through that again. So we looked into IVF, and we had a chat about what is known as PGD, which is basically where they can screen the embryos beforehand. We had these two, and they put one in, and then Lauren found out she was pregnant.
And it was just the most amazing feeling to know that, we're pregnant with a baby, and this child would be Tay-sachs free. We went for an early scan,
and immediately I saw the heartbeat, so relief, we know we had a healthy child. But then he went completely silent, and I just went, is there two? And then he turned and said yes.
It's amazing. It's a miracle, really.
I am so happy that Jnetics will now be able to test Jewish people for all the Jewish genetic disorders. And that really is, I think it's a breakthrough moment.
It's just so important that Jnetics continues to raise awareness. There is potential for these diseases to be completely wiped out, and I think that is the mission of Jnetics, to ultimately make that the reality.
We are the couple that says it wasn't going to happen to us, and it did. It's the story we can tell is thanks to Jnetics, but we'd be telling you a different story if it wasn't for them.
There are so many things that are out of our control. So many things that require, massive leaps and medical advancements. And so it's incumbent on us as a community to do something about that, because, no one should have to go through what we've gone through, and no one needs to.